In this lesson we're going to discuss chemical naming, and there's several kinds of chemical naming to talk about, but in this particular lesson we're going to talk about binary compounds that involve nonmetals. And there's two things that, there are two ways that we can deal with these kinds of naming problems. And one is when you're, in the first example, going from a name to a formula. And the other type is when you go from a formula to a name. And so let's start with number one, naming to formula. And an example of that for a binary compound of nonmetals will be diboron trioxide. Now, you notice that in these two, for these two individual nonmetals, that there are prefixes that are listed in the front. These prefixes tell you the number of those atoms of each type. And according to the name, we have boron, and it's telling us that the prefix of di means 2. We have oxide, which is O, and tri, of course, means 3. And so diboron trioxide gives us a formula of B2O3. When we name binary compounds of nonmetals from the formula, we're going to be doing everything but just in the opposite direction. And so, for example, we have XeF4. Xe is xenon. F is fluorine, and fluorine, we're going to change that ending to fluoride. And now it's time to look at the prefixes that we might use. Now, the xenon, there's one of them, and so the prefix of 1, of course, is mono. The fluorine has 4, and the prefix for 4 is tetra. But whenever we have a prefix of mono for the first element, we're not going to use that. And so we end up with the name of xenon tetrafluoride. And that's what we have.